All right, let me see if this is all working. Dude, I'm like sweating now. What the heck? So, like 5 minutes into the webinar, my power went out and then my internet went out, and I literally had to call the internet company, and they're like, oh, they're doing some maintenance. Well, you know what? You could have told me that. So, I really want to know if you guys can see me. Can you type in the chat box if you're watching? So I think because I just cursed technology, like it really did not help me out there, karma. So first lesson to set up your dream summer. Focus on the dream summer. Don't focus on the shit, because then the shit will happen. It's true. All right, I think you can see me. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna get started really quick. I just wanna like double check. Yeah, you can see me, Elizabeth. All right, I'm so glad. All right, so I'm gonna start then because this is ridiculous. All right, I just need to, I was like literally on the phone. He gave me a $5 credit. I was like, you don't understand. I was doing a webinar. People like, do you understand? And he's like, I don't. I can give you $5. So whatever, $5 is fine. I'm grateful that it's working again. So, all right, gotta get all my shit together again. Sorry about the messy room in the background. I will give you guys a much more beautiful background soon when I flip over to show you some photos. So, and then, all right, I wanted to let you know real quick, I am going to just like post this replay for everyone. So I guess if you're watching this, this doesn't really apply to you, but if you miss it, you'll get to see it. Yay. So I want you to type in the box, like, what is bugging you about your summers? Who has had a crappy summer since you had kids? Or if you recently had kids, what is like scaring you about your summer that's making you think maybe it is going to be crappier than you want, or maybe you want it to be better than you expect? Why are you here? I want to hear it. Write it in the chat box. So, all right. I have to like regroup, right? Because this happens, this shit happens. And I know it's what's really interesting that this happened. It's like such a great, what's the word? Like reassurance or example of the shit that goes down during your summers. This happened to be with technology, but it could have easily been my children. It could have easily have been a phone call saying my son was sick and I had to come pick him up. You know, life happens. We cannot control everything. Once you have kids, that amount of lack of control really goes out the window. So a lot of what I teach has to do with like, how do you get grounded during all of that? 2 years ago, when I really first started this online business, I would have been like floored. I would have been crying. But all of the stuff that I teach you is what I practice, and it makes me be, you know, cool, calm, and collected when the internet gods you know, strike me down with lightning. So here I am, ready to tell you the 5 steps to set up your dream summer. And you might be thinking, why should I have a dream summer? I've got everything set up for my kids, you know, like you've got everything going down. You've scheduled the play dates, you've set up the summer camps, you're like, you've set up a vacation. And you know, you're probably like, well, summers are about my kids now. They're going to have fun. I set up the fun for them. I'm so excited for them. But you know what? If mama ain't happy, no one's happy. Like that is really a thing. I think that moms, it's like, did you turn into less of a human when you had babies? No. If anything, really, truly, you turn into more of a human because now you're a human that can make babies. And so, you know, why should you take away the value of your own life to give it to your children? You are a valuable person too. So when I was working on this virtual summer camp that I'm launching now, doors are about to be open. So I actually learned that like until the mid 1900s, people thought that your brain when it was at rest was like doing nothing. It wasn't like doing valuable things when it was at rest. So right now we think we have a problem with like everything needs to be faster, easier, more, that mentality of doing more, which makes our brains like always doing this. We think that's like productive and great. But imagine what it was like before the 1900s when they thought your brain was mush if you didn't do that. So, um, now we know better, and we know that your brain is actually doing some valuable functions when it's resting. And we need to take care of ourselves. We need to have fulfilling leisure time to help our brain do all those like amazing things that it does when it is at rest, which is hard to get your brain at rest when you have kids. But what's really interesting about leisure time is there are studies that show that today's mom actually has more leisure time and spends more time with her kids as well than she used to, yet she feels busier and she feels like she has less leisure time. Interesting, isn't it? So we actually, a lot of moms feel like they're not spending enough time with their kids. So when it comes time to like putting more into their schedule, they put more in for their kids or more in with their kids instead of more for themselves. And then what happens is like you freak the fuck out at some point and you feel like you have to escape, but that escape is not a fulfilling leisure time. So your brain isn't doing the amazing things that it's supposed to do in your leisure time. So we're going to actually talk a lot about this in step 1 of setting up your good summer. And I know you think like, sure. I understand what she's saying. I know the science backs it up, whatever. But if I don't spend time, like a lot of time with my kid and give them a lot of attention this summer, they're going to turn into a serial killer. Or worse, they're going to turn into like Justin Bieber. All right, sorry if you like Justin Bieber. I actually don't really know anything about Justin Bieber except for people make fun of him. So don't let your kid turn into Justin Bieber. But here is an interesting story. I was at the dentist right before this webinar. So kind of hilarious, like, let me pack my day. But I normally don't pack my day like that, which is why when it comes a day to pack it, I'm like, I can flow through it. So I was at the dentist and I was talking to the hygienist who was like hilarious and awesome. And she was saying that her mom, she's like, my mom was not a helicopter mom. She was like, in fact, she was always like doing stuff with her friends. And even at my wedding, I sat her at my table and then she was like, I don't want to sit at your table. I want to sit with my friends. And I asked her if she felt less loved because of that. And she said that she was like, no, I didn't feel less loved. In fact, I thought it was really cool. Like, I thought it was cool that my mom had a life and it taught me how to have a life. I was like, oh my God, I got to talk about this today in my webinar. So Kelsey, if you're watching this, I'm talking about you. I give you a shout out. All right. So then you're probably like, okay, yeah, sure. I'd love to have a dream summer, but I don't have infinite amounts of time. So time is an issue too with busy mothers. I get it. Trust me. My program is it's set in place to give you more time, more like everything you can do in 10 minutes a day. So in 10 minutes a day, what if you could be productive in a way that actually like gets you more time? How cool would that be, right? Everything I talk about is stuff that you can do quickly to give you long-term benefits. So right now, like oh geez, are you kidding me? My phone is ringing. I'm declining it. What was I going to say? Oh, all the stuff I do on a daily basis. All right. I drive for 3 hours a day. I drive my car for 3 hours a day because I have to take my kids to school all over the freaking country and then come back home to work and then go pick them up all over the country and come back home to work. So I do that 3 hours of my day driving. I try to move my body in some way during the day. I am a freelance writer. I have this online business. I try to devote some time, like undivided attention to my kids. I usually eat like real food and make myself meals. I'm like I know it's convenient to like bulk cook and whatever, but I think leftovers, certain types of leftovers, like bulk cooking type of leftovers, I think are gross. The hamburger that I just ate that was left over from last night was delicious. But so like I make myself real food during the day. I play the fiddle. I practice. I draw. I zone out and watch TV, which my new current obsession is The Leftovers. Oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed. Well, we can talk about that at some other time. I have time to do all these things, and I'm not saying that because I'm like, oh, look at me, and you're like, fuck, how does she have time? What am I doing wrong? It's that I want to explain that you can have this time too. That is something that is totally possible for you. So that's kind of what I'm here to teach you today. What I do, my name is Gaby, and I help moms have more fun. So my company is called Make Your Perfect, and it's not about perfect. Obviously, you're looking at me, right? Not perfect. I didn't even put on eyeliner for you today, and I did not shower for you. It's a good thing you can't smell me. The dentist, however, not so lucky. So I'm going to start by telling you about this thing that I have behind me right here. Okay? So I want to show you this. You are probably like, what the heck is this? This is what started me on, and it's like reflecting and stuff, but my kids call this my dream house. And we can think of it as your dream summer, okay? It's a box. It has feathers and glitter and some sticks inside of it. I'll take some pictures and post them. There's a good view. So this is my dream summer right here in this box. And what that represents is, gosh, how long ago was this now? 4 years ago, maybe? I was on a Facebook group where there were a bunch of coaches on there, and I was talking about how I I wasn't excited to play with my kids, right? And I actually just had a video recently about like how to have more fun playing with your kids. But one thing that happened to me when I became a mom is that like beforehand, I was fun, and I was like, I'm a fun person. I think I'm a fun person. I am always like, I don't know, lighthearted, like really lighthearted, really passionate. These are the things that I find to kind of symbolize or equal fun, like this passion, this lightheartedness. I am interested and curious in a lot of things. I like to learn, and all of that is fun to me. And I like to play, or I used to like to play in a certain way. You know, I don't know. I liked to do lighthearted activities. And so then when I had kids, I was like, oh, I'm going to like go back to my childhood. Honestly, I had visions of playing with My Little Ponies. My boys will not play with My Little Ponies no matter how much I tell them. They are just horses. So going back to my childhood and getting more play and having fun playing was like squelched because I couldn't play with My Little Ponies. And then everything else became not fun, and I became like, felt like really heavy and stagnant and not passionate anymore and not fun anymore. So I was in this Facebook group, and this girl told me, she was like, I am actually a coach that helps you access your playful side. And she was like, I can do a free session for you. And I was like, okay. So I get on the phone with her one day. I do this free session, and she tells me beforehand, she's like, we're going to do a guided meditation, and then we're going to create your container of fun. She's like, get crafty stuff together. So I'm like, I'm fun, and I have crafty stuff in my house, so that's no problem. And I actually also thought, like, this is kind of like hokey, what? I don't know. I feel like uncomfortable doing this. It feels like weird to get on the phone with someone, and I'm going to make a container of fun. I don't know. I like kind of didn't understand it. But then I got on the phone with her, and she walked me through this meditation where, to make a really long story short, a really long meditation short, she had me close my eyes and imagine that I was like walking up to a tree. And then I walked around the tree, and there was a door in the tree. And I open the door, and I go inside, and she's like, what's inside? And I'm like, my eyes are closed, and I'm just talking to her on like Skype, and I'm telling her what's inside this tree. And I'm walking around it. So it turns out inside my treehouse, there was a waterfall that was like really high up. You climbed up these steps, and you jumped off of waterfall into crystal clear water. Then when you got out of the water, there was like a beach, but it wasn't made of sand. It was like inside a cave kind of, and it was covered with pillows, and there were books all over the place. And then the other half of the treehouse was like a little kitchen with a window for light, and it had like a natural wood stump table and chair, and there was a mug of some kind of drink there. I don't know what that represents. She kept asking me like, what kind of drink is it? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, is it tea? I'm like, I don't really drink tea. I think it's just water, which is interesting because water, when I drink water, which I always am drinking, if you know me, I always have a freaking water bottle. It feels so good to drink water. So, and all of that basically made me tap into this idea that like I had been looking for fun in all the wrong places since I became a mom. I felt like I didn't have time for it. But I also felt like I wasn't fun anymore. And it was because I was like telling myself, well, to be fun, fun equals play. Look at my kids play. They're fun. They're having fun. And that stuff wasn't fun to me. Like playing with Legos isn't fun. Laying on pillows. I also happen to be naked a lot in this vision. So being naked and swimming naked is like really fun for me. The feeling of water, a lot of the symbolism of water is fun for me. The pillows, the solitude, the mixture of light and dark and like cozy spaces, all of that was what represented fun to me. So that is one thing I became aware of. And then I made this. So she's like, get your crafty stuff now and put together a container that equals fun. And my kids have played with it a little bit, but basically what this was, I'll put it back together and like take a picture for you guys later. It's like really cool and I love it. There's a table, there are some like glass beads. There is this yarn that was falling off of this stump like a waterfall, pillows and feathers in here. And there is glitter. There is glitter in it, which, all right, like if something is fun, it's glitter. All right, I'm gonna put this back here. So after I made that, like, did my life change? Honestly, first of all, I started sleeping naked after that. Probably too much information, but that's kind of how I roll. Yes, honestly, all of a sudden, all of this little stuff slowly and like really quietly started to become more fun in my life, and I became more playful. And it came to this point where all of a sudden, so I started this Make Your Perfect. I started this company as a life coaching company. Actually, I used to coach people individually. And then, mothers who needed support kind of reconnecting with themselves and finding themselves again after they had children. And then just this spring, I was at the beach having fun with one of my best friends. And I had like a freaking epiphany. And I was like, I hadn't put anything out there for my company yet. I hadn't done any programs that were paid. I was simply blogging and doing life coaching. And I have a Facebook group that is awesome and filled with some really, really like tight-knit, cool, amazing, interesting women, fun women. And I wasn't doing anything, like I wasn't offering you guys much else. And it hit me at the beach this day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I do. I help moms find their fun. And all of a sudden everything clicked into place. And I am like, not even kidding you. I have so much to give you for the rest of the year and my life. And I'm so excited to be here and talk to you about it. So, all right. So let me like pull out my notes. I wanted to tell you, so like the other thing about fun, I wanted, like, this is cool. Fun was a mixture of like quiet and powerful. So I don't feel quiet and powerful when I play with my kids. In fact, I feel powerless, and I don't feel nothing is quiet about my children or my house in a lot of ways. So I just saw that on my notes and I wanted to say that because I thought that was meaningful. So anyway, I'm going to stop babbling. I'm going to start telling you about fun. If you stick around until the end, some of you did have questions about like your specific situations. And so I'm going to address those at the end of this. And also if you stick around till the end, and now I'll extend it a little bit longer. I have to decide how long to extend this, but I am going to give you some freaking amazing bonuses that I'm like really, really also excited about. I've been so excited all week. I've been like peeing in my pants, not literally, but, and staying awake until like 2 a.m., which is, now I know how you guys feel who have the babies and don't sleep. So, yes. So I'm going to tell you the 5 steps to set up your summer vacation. Taking these steps now is huge because a lot of what I teach, it's like a practice. You cannot do it. It's not like a magic fix in the moment. So a lot of times I have friends who are like dealing with a lot of shit and they're like, Gabby, what do I do like when the shit happens to me? And it's not like about what you do when those things happen to you. It's about what you've done and set up in your practice of life, right? Because life is like a practice. You're not, I mean, it's not a mastery, it's a practice. You keep going throughout your life. If you mastered life, I think that's when it ends, you guys. I truly think like you don't want to master life. You want to practice it. The fun is in the practice, and the fulfillment is in the practice and the learning. So that's what these steps are going to help you do. So I'm going to switch over to my screen here. This is going to be interesting. Sorry if you hear some loud noises. I feel like this gets loud. All right, I'm going to switch over to my screen to show you like pictures and stuff as I keep talking about these steps. Boom, ready? It's going to look really crazy for a second, and here we go. So we have step number 1, find space for yourself. All right, I want to hear from you in that chat box. What does it mean to you to find space for yourself? So if you're typing in the chat box, sometimes it like a pop-up pops up and makes you want to like click guest on that, and you can like select an avatar and then chat. So as I keep talking, I will look at the chat box and see if you guys respond. What does it mean to you to find space for yourself? And if you're watching the replay of this on Facebook, you can, I mean, I check my Facebook all the time, even though it's not real time. Write it in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think before I go on and talk about space. So like, what would finding space for yourself mean? All right, when I talk about finding space, I'm talking about both mental and physical space. So let's talk about the mental space first. I'm going to start by reading you 2 quotes. And honestly, I don't have this in like a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to scroll through. All right, so this is the first quote. I'm going to hide this thing and go away. Little box, Zoom box. All right. The first quote I have here is, research on naps, meditation, nature walks, and the habits of exceptional artists and athletes reveals how mental breaks increase productivity, replenish attention, solidify memories, and encourage creativity. All right, isn't this like what you want your dream summer to be? Productive? Have attention on it, like maybe be mindful of yourself and your family and your kids. Make summer memories. And be creative. To me, that creative part is like the play part, the playful and lighthearted side of you. So sure, this sounds really nice. Naps, nature walks, and meditation. But as a mom, you don't always have time for that. And in some phases of motherhood, you don't have any time for that. Like sometimes you feel like you are just pushing and pushing and pushing, and you fill your brain until you can't take it anymore. And then instead of finding space, you escape. So how many of you like go and escape to the bathroom with your phone and scroll on Facebook? I just did that video I put on Facebook of the 6 stages of motherhood. And in one of those, that's what I'm doing. I'm like zoning out on my phone because that is what I do. If I need to escape like the noise in my house, I go to the bathroom and zone out on my phone. But that's like what they're talking about when they do those studies of women who say they don't have leisure time. Like that, although it is kind of leisure time, it's not fulfilling. That is not like, it doesn't make you feel good. It just makes you get out. So finding space isn't about escape. It's about purposefully crafting your space. All right, so I'm going to go down to the next slide here. And this is the next quote. Idleness is not just a vacation, an indulgence, or a vice. It is as indispensable to the brain as vitamin D is to the body, and deprived of it, we suffer a mental affliction as disfiguring as rickets. Or rickets, I don't know. When's the last time you heard about rickets? I don't know. But this is like a really intense quote. We think of being idle, like we think of finding space as a luxury or an indulgence, or we feel guilty about it. And it's like a vice. We're like, oh, we shouldn't do that when we have children. We shouldn't find space for ourselves. I should be giving all of my brain power and space power to my child. But this kind of is to talk about like how important it is to find that space. So what's filling up your space? You kind of feel like motherhood is the problem, right? Like, why don't you have space? A lot of the answers that the moms I work with give is like, oh, because I'm a mom, I don't have space. Like, motherhood is a problem, taking away my fucking space, or my kids are taking away the space. Whether or not that is truly the problem, which we'll kind of get to that in a minute, which I guess you can see it already in number 3, so I'm not telling you any secrets you don't know. But whatever the problem is, space is the solution. Solutions arise from the subconscious. So basically, there are so many studies that show that when your brain is subconscious, you are getting space, but it is actually working to find solutions to your problems. So your problem might not be motherhood. Your problem might be lack of space. Think about it like this. Like, you have so much going on. Your kids are freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. I don't know. This is like what happens in my house. Everybody just gets to freak out after a while. Like, everybody's yelling at each other. Nobody's behaving. And it just becomes like feeling really chaotic. And so like, what do? It's like, I need to find a parenting course. I need to find a parenting course and parent my children better. I need to learn how to fix them because they are the problem. You know what? They are probably not the problem. The problem is probably the space that you have not created for yourself. So creating space is the first solution to your problem. Really, any problem. All right, I'm scrolling to the next screen here. So what is filling up your space? There are some things that are negotiable and non-negotiable that are filling up your space. So obviously, kids fill up your space. You are a mother now. Kids are taking up your precious mental space and your physical space, There are these are things that take up space whether you want them or not. So connecting with your spouse fills up your space and time. There's somebody else living in your home with you. You want a connection with them. And so that takes up some of your mental space. If you work can take up some of your mental space. These are just a couple of examples, but these are pretty much like non-negotiables. These are always going to take up your space. And I know, like, especially if you're a single mom, you can feel like that space is totally freaking taken up, and that there's nothing you can do about it. But you have negotiables in your mental space too that you can get rid of. So some of the negotiables, which means the things that take up the space in your brain that you have control over, are your to-do list. So all of this stuff that you tell yourself you have to do every day, feelings of guilt, stress, and anxiety. And, to a certain extent, there is a certain level of this where, like, perhaps you need a professional therapist to help you. But a lot of moms, the guilt, the stress, and anxiety are controllable mindset issues that you are placing upon yourself to fill your space. And then another thing that can fill your space is meaningless escape activities. Like, I talk about scrolling on Facebook all the time because I swear to God, there are these people and you know who you are. And I am talking to you. And if you think I'm not talking to you, I am talking to you. You complain all the time about not having space. You are so busy with your kids. You are so busy with this and that. Like, life is just freaking stomping on your head. And so I'm on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook a lot for personal stuff, but I'm on there a lot for work. And I see you. You are on Facebook all the time. How do you post so much on Facebook if you don't have any space? You are choosing to fill your mental space with these things that you don't have to fill it with. And I get it. That is your escape, and you're seeking connection. You're seeking space, but by seeking it, you are actually filling it up more. And so you're never going to get it if you keep trying to escape with these things. So like, your speed of life is not allowing your brain to settle down. You need to have a recovery period. So just like an athlete needs a recovery period, you do too. And that's going to help you avoid burnout. If you have burnout, you are not going to have a dream summer. So if you put more into your summer, you're not going to have that dream summer that you want. You need to focus on creating space. So I wanted to mention one thing, because yesterday in my episode of Why is My Car Such a Shithole, which I have weekly episodes of now. Very fun and exciting. I talked about decluttering and a little bit in there about decluttering your mind. Decluttering your mind is a little bit different than creating space. So you can intentionally create space with a cluttered mind. Decluttering your mind would be like an entire separate summer camp in itself. But we're going to talk about that in the virtual summer camp that I'm launching this summer. And this is where like different practices come in, the different practices in the programs that will help you create space even within your cluttered mind. And as you create more of that space, it like infuses you and your mind becomes decluttered. So I'm going to talk about really quick, where can you create this space? So where can you create space in your mind? One example is like in the car. When I'm in the car for those 3 hours, my mind is so fucking open. It feels really good and really fulfilling. And I actually am going to miss it a little bit next year because I will be driving my kids to the same school. So I'm excited about that. But there is an aspect of that I want to keep in my practice of life, this creating space while I drive and I'm in the car. I need that mind space in the morning. Anyway, and it's a good break at like 3 p.m. You know, you can create space in your mind while you're in the shower. I kind of want you to think about that, brainstorm on that. And if you have insights or want to share where you can create space in your mind, put it in the chat or put it in the comments if this is on Facebook. So where can you create space in your time? That's the second one. You have time and you have space in your time, no matter how much you think you don't. So that's where redoing your to-do list can help you create more time for yourself, more space in your time, and getting away from the escape activities. If you don't get on Facebook every time you're in the bathroom, well, then maybe you would just pee and not spend 15 minutes in the bathroom, and you could come out and do something more that gave you more space later instead of just escaping throughout the day and then feeling like you don't have space. All right, so the third place that you can create space is in your physical environment. All right, and this is a tough one. I know that your whole house needs to be decluttered, trust me. But that is like super overwhelming and you will busy yourself with lack of space if you try to declutter your whole house. So where can you start with just one space? Like maybe it's as simple as the top of your nightstand. Maybe you have a chair with a table next to it where you like to sit and you want that to be your space. Declutter that. Maybe it's your kitchen table. These baby steps will help you create more space so that you instantly start to feel less overwhelmed. And this is the stuff when you have this space. So if you can start creating this space now in your mind, in your time, and in your physical environment, you're going to have space to work on yourself this summer, and you're going to have space to have fun this summer and have that dream summer. All right. So let's move on to step 2 of how to set up your dream summer. Oh, I had a beautiful photo for you that I didn't show you. Sorry. All right, I like this one. This picture reminds me of the image I had in my mind of that tree house. Like this is what the outside of the tree house looked like. Amazing, right? So the number 2 for the steps to set up your dream summer is to do a little dreaming. How can you have the summer of your dreams if you don't have the dream? So that seems obvious when you actually say it out loud, right? But it's a step that most people neglect whenever they want something. So you sit around thinking, I can't live like this anymore, or like something has to change. But you don't think about what you do want to live like. Instead, you focus on what has to change, but you're not focusing on what you want it to change into. Light bulb moment, right? Like that is huge. What do you want it to change into? If you want the summer of your dreams, you have to come up with a vision of what that looks like. So last summer, I did a vision board, which we're gonna do in our summer camp. I know like everybody does a vision board, but I have a cool way to do it and it's really fun. And when I did my vision board last summer, between March and August, I actually did everything that was on my vision board. I like I pretty much played all summer, which felt so amazing. And by doing that, I got the things done on my vision board. And what was cool was like, yes, I still had to work. I still had to pay the bills. Oh, I see Frida Kahlo, you did it. Sorry, I literally just threw my phone because I saw that someone put on the chat and had Frida Kahlo as the avatar. Did you hear me? I want to know, did you hear me say that in the first I said that, I mentioned that before my webinar cut out, but if you didn't hear it, then I think that we are like kindred spirits, you and me, because I would have chosen her too. But you are definitely guilty of mindlessly scrolling through your phone way too often and not being present. I think everybody is. It's like a problem. So anyway, sorry, that was like a total, I'm a tangent person, but getting back to this. What was I talking about? I go on tangents and then I'm like, oh, I don't know. I was talking about my vision board. I did not put like writing on my vision board, like writing, my freelance writing that I do for work, or work on my vision board. And actually I didn't really work on Make Your Perfect that much last summer. I played, but I got everything done on my vision board. So like, it's very interesting that when you have the vision, you get the vision accomplished. And it's not, I didn't sit around and it like magically came to me. I did stuff to make it happen, but you can't think about what you want to change until you want to think about what you want it to change into. So if you don't have the vision, you don't know what to do. And then you not only stay where you are, but you fill your time with mental clutter that makes you feel like you have no space. So it's like this big cycle that takes you right out of your dream summer. It makes your summer suck. So do a little dreaming this summer, before this summer. All right, step 3, change your perspective. So I picked this picture because you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me how so many moms say that they feel like they're drowning. And I was like, oh, how interesting if you turn drowning sideways. Like, let's say she was like upside down, and that would be symbolized drowning. If you turn drowning sideways, you're actually flying. Like mind blown, right? I thought of this last night at like 1:30 a.m. But so if you change your perspective, think about it this way. Fun is a perspective. It is not necessarily another thing to put on your to-do list. So that kind of goes back to what I talked about in my story from the beginning. You know, like when I had kids, I thought fun was supposed to be playing with Legos or playing with My Little Ponies. And what, you know, so I felt like my life wasn't fun because I wasn't doing those things, but then I did those things and those weren't fun either. So then I was like, just confused, like, shit, how do I find the fun? But if you change your perspective on fun, then you may begin to have it, right? What was fun when we were kids wasn't necessarily fun when we were in high school. So like I actually had this best friend across the street, Meredith. Meredith, if you're watching, hello. And I remember this story, and actually I'm going to totally tag her on Facebook so she can watch this because I think that would be awesome. What was I saying? Oh, so I remember when I was like, we were like 12 or 13, and I went over her house one day and she was like, where's your Skipper doll? Remember Skipper, like Barbie and Skipper? Do they still have Skipper? I don't know. But anyway, we loved our Skipper dolls. And I went over her house and she's like, where's your Skipper? And I was like, oh, I didn't bring her. I don't really play with her anymore. And she said, Meredith said, oh my God, I don't think I'm ever going to part with my Skipper doll. So Meredith, I ask you now, have you parted with your Skipper doll yet? But so like that's an example of like our fun changes. What we find fun changes as we change and as we grow. So just because we're not doing the same fun things as we were doing before we had kids, it doesn't mean that we're not having fun or can't have fun. Our perspective of fun has just shifted. So you kind of have to define your new version of fun in order to be able to label it as such, and then in order to be able to experience it. So in order to have a dream summer, you have to change your perspective about fun. And that's something that we're actually going to spend a little time in virtual summer camp defining so that we can have it. Can't have fun if you don't know what it is, people. All right. Let me see. I forget about my slides. Yes, I didn't miss one. All right. So step 4, replace the chaos. Oh my God. I had this awesome example to show you of this, but whatever. I don't have it anymore. All right. So what this has to do with is like when you're feeling chaotic, let's say you can't stop the thoughts from coming into your brain, like everybody's screaming and there's loud noises in your house. You feel like everything is total chaos. If you just try to ignore it or like turn it off, that is not possible. It's kind of like when you're meditating, it is not possible for you to stop your thoughts, but you can replace your thoughts. So you can't stop the chaos necessarily, especially if you're just beginning to practice this, but you can replace the chaos. So there's actually something that's like, it's more about sensory or physical sensations, but it's something called gate control theory that says that you have all these neural pathways, right, that reach from like your fingertips, all the nerve endings to your brain. And when you feel a sensory stimulus through those passageways, so like let's say you feel pain because you burned your hand, that pain signal goes up your pathways to your brain, and then you feel it. You should see me right now because I'm actually demonstrating this with my hands, even though I know you can't see me. I talk with my hands a lot. All right. So anyway, as the signals go through your neural pathways, there are different gates. And what the gates do is they can either be open and allow the signal to come through, or they can be closed and block the signal. If those gates are closed, you will feel less pain. What can you use to block those gates? Is any other sensory stimulus. So a lot of times when you're feeling chaotic, you're actually feeling physically chaotic. Like you might be like shaking a little bit or like sweating, having like physical sensations that are coming from your anxiety or the chaos. So if you can replace those with any other sensory stimulus, you can actually get rid of some of that chaos. And that's where even like I think that's one of the reasons why taking a shower, like when you are having a totally crazy day, can like totally reset you. But so you can also replace the chaos. So this is one of the, let me step back. When you're feeling chaotic, you often like think, well, I need to find my Zen. Like I want to sit on this little dock, like this woman looking at the Zen mountains. But if you try to do that without actually going there, so I would actually argue that if you go to that place, you are doing something physical and like taking action to replace the chaos. You're going to there and looking at that with your eyeballs, and that's a sensory stimulus. If you are just trying to go to a Zen space in your head, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to replace the chaos. And I think that's something like a lot of times people are like, when you're feeling angry at your kids and everything's chaotic and you just want to yell at them, just take a deep breath. And on one level, the breath is a bit of a replacement of the chaos, but for me, that's not always enough. And I find it hard in the moment to replace the chaos when it's super, super intense. So practicing over time to replace the chaos with space and with fun, then you will have less chaos and you will have more of the ability to bring in the positive things. So now, like by this point, do you see the difference between space and escape? Like space is a thing. It is something that you can proactively create, and escape is the absence of things. And in the absence of things, chaos only gets stronger. So amazing, right? I'm blowing your mind right now. I know. I'm blowing my own mind, even though I knew what I was going to say. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. So this is an example. So I said this to someone recently. I was like, I am literally always having fun in my brain. My brain is, I am not even really funny, and I crack myself up all the time. So there's that. I'm seriously delirious from being up way too late this week. All right. Sorry. But I'm serious. So like, again, 4 years ago, being up too late would have turned me into a cranky bitch. And instead it is turning me into a delirious monkey. So you could be a delirious monkey too, you people whose kids are keeping you up all night. All right. So we are on to step 5. Have more fun. Okay. So this seems really simple, but there is this quote. I really like this quote. do it, and then you will feel motivated to do it. A lot of times, if we are stuck in a rut or if we're feeling really sad or emotional, we don't feel like having fun. And so sometimes it's like the faking it till you make it. And it's hard to fake it till you make it if you haven't created space for it, if you haven't, created a vision of what you would do to fake it till you make it. If everything is chaotic, and if you don't know what fun is, well, then how can you have more fun? But if you do all those things, then you can fake the fun even when you're not feeling it. And truthfully, you guys, I am not always fun. I am sad sometimes, and I experience like really intense emotions and anger and negative emotions. And I actually believe that fun is living your life with all of that stuff. So I am not about blocking that. Part of fun is like feeling really passionate to me, and feeling passionate is experiencing all the emotions. So don't think that I'm saying like you just have to put a smile on your face. But there are things like certain times, if you're feeling really negative, saying yes more to your kids can be more fun. Honestly, don't tell him I said this, but my husband, he'll never watch this webinar this far into it. So don't tell him when I say this. He's saying no all the time to my kids, and I think it's making him have less fun. Honestly, like everybody gets in a bad mood when you say no. And obviously you have to set some boundaries, but it's interesting what happens when you say yes more to your children, to yourself. Forcing yourself to smile. There is that, there's science that shows that the muscles in your face, when they're smiling, activate happiness, and feel good chemicals in your brain. Another thing that you can do, and we actually did this in a challenge recently, is to write down one fun thing that you did every day, or maybe like share it over dinner with your family. It's very interesting. If you force yourself to say one fun thing that you did every day, you will realize that you don't have to add the fun into your day. You're already getting it. You are just not noticing it. So what if you didn't really have to change anything but your mindset? Like you didn't have to change your amount of time that you spend on things, but you just had to change all the things in your mind through each of these 5 steps without it taking more time. All right. So like at the beginning, I talked about how everybody's like, I don't have more time. You don't have to have more time to have more fun. You can change all of this in your head and then have more fun. All right. So that is the angels talking to you. And this is me talking to you. All right, let me see. I can't remember if I'm supposed to show my face now or show you. Oh, I'll show you that in a minute. All right. So I'm going to leave it here for a minute, and I'm going to talk about really like how can you have more fun this summer. I've been talking about this a little bit, mentioning it throughout the webinar. The virtual summer camp is a summer camp that I am offering. It is virtual, which means you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it on your computer. And it's a way to make these mindset and action shifts fun so that you do end up playing more, having more fun, and having your dream summer. You guys, no amount of overscheduling, vacation planning, or freaking arts and crafts with your kids is going to get you through the summer with your sanity intact if you don't do something for yourself. That is crucial. So let me ask you this. What am I going to ask you? Dun, dun, dun. All right. Do you feel like nothing you've tried to like fix your life at this point, or to find more zen, or to get rid of the chaos? Do you feel like nothing is actually working? Hit me up. Hit me up in the chat box if you're still there. I can't even see if anyone's still watching this, but I'm assuming you are because it's amazing. And anyway, you're going to watch the replay, which is going to be, you can write in comments on Facebook. I'm starting to talk fast now because we are almost over, and I also have to leave at 2 to pick up my son. All right. So if you keep trying different things, like you keep trying, you're like, I'm doing stuff to try to fix this, and it's not working. And then you're like more frustrated. You're even like, you feel like you've gone backwards. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. And I've told you some of the stuff that you need to do just now, these 5 steps. And you might even know already how to do some of it. But it's really hard to put the what and the how together when you're already frazzled. You want to learn how to do this. but you don't have the time and patience to learn and put it all together yourself. So that's why I've put it together for you in the form of this camp. And I'm going to tell you a little bit like more details about what the camp kind of looks like in a minute. But, you know, I want to, before I do that, I want to talk about like, so all of this, it seems kind of simple, right? Like have more fun, declutter your mind, find space. But like when you actually try to do it and you keep it's not changing anything or fixing anything, you realize like it's not that simple. Because if it was so simple, then why are you not having a dream summer already? Aha, aha. So let's move on. Let me see. All right, I was going to talk to you about like what, all right, I'm going to talk right now because you can leave if this is you, all right? Not because I want you to leave, because I love everybody, but do not join VSC, which stands for Virtual Summer Camp if all you want is someone to tell you that you're okay. We all go through that phase, and if you watch my 6 stages of motherhood video, you will see there is that stage where you do need support. You need to know that you're normal. I actually went through a stage where I was like so fucking angry at my kid when he was 3. I almost like hurt him one day, like really hurt him. I mean, yeah, I don't like to talk about that. But so I was really like nervous. I was like, who is this monster? I am not an angry person and I never was before. And I was like, I was even scared to Google like angry mothers. What should I do if I'm an angry mother? Because I was like, oh my God, social services is going to come knock on my door and take away my kid from me. And then I actually did start talking to people because like this is, yeah. So I started talking to people about it and everybody was like, oh, I feel that too. I feel that too. But so there are a lot of programs for moms, a lot of like coaching programs and books and stuff like that everybody reads. You know, you read them. Like I love them too. Like Gabrielle Bernstein and whoever that talk about, you know, like you're amazing. You're an amazing person. And you know what? You are. But like if all you want is for someone to tell you that you're amazing and you're normal and it's going to be okay, like that's not me because I'm going to tell you what you can actually do to help yourself. That's why you're here, okay? That's where we're going beyond that stuff. And I'm actually going to tell you a story. So I had 2 people email me and one person comment saying, I don't know if I want to join this program, Gabby, because so 2 of them were like, the last email you sent was like really, the one where you told me that I am enough. Was like a little too sappy. And if all this program is like telling me like how amazing I am, that's not what I want. So like, if that's what you want, don't join my program. But if you are ready for a boot camp, if you're tired of people telling you that you're doing great when you actually don't feel like you are, and honestly, you probably are doing fucking great. But what my program is going to do is help you feel it. So you don't need someone else to tell you that. Like, that is what I'm going to help you do. Then my program would be for you. So, like, I'm all about inspiration. It's actually a passion of mine to inspire people, but I just sometimes do it in a different way. So I will not get too sappy during summer camp. I am totally the kind of person who says it is and says it like it is, and I don't beat around the bush. So when I say that you are enough, it's true. But also, when I say, stop giving me those damn excuses again, that is also true. So, don't join virtual summer camp if you don't want me to hear if you don't want to hear me tell you that you are making excuses. All right, so don't join if you want to watch other people do the work to have a great summer, but you don't want to put in the work. There is work, and it's not time work, you guys. It's not time. It is just you actually have to think. And like, so sometimes people tell me like, I can't think of anything else when I'm stuck in the chaotic moment. Well, I'm going to give you activities and like little tasks and little tricks that you can actually try. So if you try them, and there will be multiple ones for like multiple solutions kind of for different problems. If you don't try them, they're not going to work. But if you're willing to try them, then they will work. So this kind of goes along with the next bullet, which is if you strongly believe that your mindset is set in stone and you just can't think on the bright side, then do not join. Because if you are dead set on not shifting your mindset, where this is a lot of mindset shift. And if you do the work, your mindset will shift. Like I use proven psychological strategies. I'm going to really brainwash you. I'm just kidding. But yes, mindset shift. That's what it's all about. Partly. We're also going to do fun stuff, which I'll tell you about in a minute. All right. But so also if you want to do this, like drinking a bottle of vodka all summer because that's comfortable and you want your kid to turn into Justin Bieber, then by all means, do not join the program. And that's the other thing. So if you want to be comfortable, but comfort sucks, your comfortable space right now, if it's easy, but it's not your dream summer. But if you want to stay there, then don't join. But if you want to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and shift into a dream summer, then do join. So guess what's next? Do join the virtual summer camp if you know that what you've been trying isn't working and you need to do something that actually works. If you want to spend more quality time with your loved ones this summer, because the space that you get for yourself will make you then want to spend time with your loved ones instead of just doing the chaos and then escaping from it. If you want to spend more quality time with yourself this summer, this would be a good thing for you. And if you're okay, kind of like what I said before, if you're okay with a little discomfort, if it's going to change your life for good in the long run and make your life blissfully satisfying, join the virtual summer camp, people. All right. Yes. Good. All right. What is this? Oh, I'm going to put this up and make you be like, what she's talking about. All right. So I have a couple more things to say. Oh, I was going to show you. Shit. Do I have time to do that? Yeah. I'm going to try to show you the summer camp in a minute. So, but I just wanted to mention, oh crap. And then I have the questions. So much to do, you guys. All right. I'm going to try, let me see if this actually works. I'm going to try to log into the summer camp and show you like what is even available today if you register today. So if you were to register and log in, if this doesn't work, I can't show you, but I'm trying to show you on my screen. I think it will work. Oh, I'm already logged in. Okay. So when you register and you have access to the MYP Virtual Summer Camp website, which is a member website that you have to log into, and this is where you're going to access like all of the videos and resources and printables and blah, blah, blah stuff that I have to give you. Password. What is my password? I'm not telling you. All right. Sorry if you hear loud noises. I'm a loud typer. And log in. All right, so the first page that you get in is the virtual summer camp homepage. This is going to be like your boom place that you come. I say it's the lounge where the counselor greets you when you first get to camp, and it's also your profile page. So you can edit your information over here, change your password if you need to. And then I explain like what's here. Right now, this is all that's up here because camp doesn't actually open until June 1st. So I wanted to make sure that everybody kind of starts on the same page. But automatically, no matter what, every single person who registers gets some bonuses. So the bonuses you get when you first register, whoever you are, all right, ready for this? This right here is Blood Mountain. I wrote a romance novel for mothers. It's amazing. It's like really good. It is like 5 million times better than 50 Shades of Grey. And I know I have friends who I sent some snippets to. If you are one of those friends, you tell them how good it is. All right, you will get that. And you will also get a whole printable coloring journal. So I published this coloring journal that looks like what you're looking at last year, 2 years ago. And I gave you a whole free PDF of the entire freaking book. So it's like different journal prompts that you can use every day or whenever. And they're also like coloring sheets. So here, I'll click on it and show you what it looks like inside because it's beautiful. So you can actually like sit with your kids and color with them. So yeah, like here's an example of a page. Today I'm grateful for, and you can either write it, or if you're thinking about it and you don't know what the answer is like yet because it takes you, that's one problem I have with journaling is that like, I can't always think and then I'm bored sitting in front of my paper, so you can color. Ta-da. Okay. example of what that looks like. So that's what it looks like now. And so what is going to be in there, there's going to be kind of some daily stuff and some weekly stuff. Basically every day, there's also going to be a Facebook group that you can join. So if you join when you join the Facebook group, every day in there, I'm going to have one daily tip, and it's going to be like an affirmation or a question or something to just think about during the day. It doesn't take you any extra time to do it, but it's something that you can ponder throughout the day. Then we are going to have weekly themes. Every week has a theme, and we are going to have like 1 or 2 just activities for you to accomplish during that week. You're also going to have separate like 1 or 2 journal prompts that will look like these pages, and you can fill them out that go along with the theme. And then we can talk about them in the group and whatnot. And so the activities are going to be like, for example, one of our activities pretty soon into the camp is going to be making vision board. But they're not going to be all, and it's going to be virtual, like it's going to be an online one, so you don't have to like cut magazines. Cutting magazines actually drives me nuts. So it's going to be kind of stuff like that, or stuff that's as simple as smile one time every day at something your kid does. So it can be, anywhere from a range of activities that can take from 1 minute to 10 minutes. And so we're going to have a few of those activities a week. And then we're going to actually do fun stuff in the group. Like, I am not kidding you. We are going to do a talent show the first week. All right. I don't care if you're afraid of that. Do not let that be a reason for you not to sign up, because we are doing a talent show. And then once a month, we're going to have a live chat in the Facebook group together where we do a craft while we chat. So, and maybe it's possible that I could do that where we can like either talk on Google Hangouts or on like a Zoom, another platform where we can see each other and actually talk with our voices instead of writing. I'll let you know once you're in. But anyway, we're going to do a craft together, and you don't even have to worry about the craft because I'm going to send you in the mail to your house like a freaking present the crafty stuff that you need. So we are starting out in June by making friendship bracelets. I'm so excited. We are going to bring back the trend, you guys. That's my goal for this. Bring back the trend of friendship bracelets. So that's kind of just like a little snippet of what it looks like. And finally, finishing up my lady potamuses. That's my new word. I'm going to call you lady potamuses. I'm going to finish up this, and I'm going to answer any questions that you had. So if you're here, if you have questions, write them in the chat box. I am going to answer them. I'll look at them at the end, but I have other questions that people have already asked that I need to answer. Okay, so you're going to get these bonuses now. I'm going to actually switch off my screen because shit. How do I switch off my screen now? Oh, I know. Dun, dun, dun. Hi, I'm back. Woo. It's like I went into a crazy no man's land world for a little bit. Got dark in here too. Turn on the light. Oh, shit, the light is on. Well, whatever. All right. So, if I have to think, I was going to do this within 2 hours of the webinar, but I realize now that because I had to like stop it and start it, I lost a lot of people who were going to watch it. So you have until today is Thursday. This is going to give you enough time. You have 24 hours. If you sign up in the next 24 hours, it is 1:44 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. By 1:44 tomorrow, if you sign up for the virtual summer camp, you are going to get, all right, if you watch this webinar, you are going to get the VIP price, which is $67 for 3 months. So if you pay in full, it's $67 for 3 months for the VIP price. It's normally $97 for the regular price. If you need to make payments, it's a little more expensive, but the VIP payment plan is $39 a month for 3 months. So really, I mean, honestly, for that is like $40. I'm so bad at math. So it's like $120 versus $70. So if you sign up, this is like if you sign up anytime from this webinar, and I know that you watched the webinar because you registered and I have your email address through that. I track you people. You can get that price. Oh, I know how you do it because you have this link. All right, so this is how you get the $67. You have the link to this webinar because you watched it. Go to the link, click the button on that link to get the discounted price. Now, this is the stuff that's a special bonuses that is only available until 1:44 p.m. on Friday, May 26th. You're going to get 5 bonuses. I'm so excited. All right. So you know what the first one is? It's a find your fun meditation. That's kind of like the one that I talked about at the beginning of this webinar and that I did that helped me find my fun. And I'm going to mail a crafty box to your house of like tidbits, like, what do you call it? Like this and that. I'm so bad at like thinking of what things are called. Crafty little things like feathers and rocks and glass beads and stuff like that to make your own dream summer container. I'm not going to send you the container, but I'm going to send you the stuff to put inside, and then you can put it together after you do the meditation. So that's going to be awesome. There will be glitter. So if you don't think that's fun, I'm so sorry, but there will be glitter. There will be glitter. You don't have to use it. All right. All of the coloring pages that I've ever created, you are going to get them. So that's like, I have some that I haven't even finalized yet. And give me a week to get you guys these bonuses because I got to put some of them together. But for example, so this is like one that I created. I have a bunch of nature ones. Here's another one. These don't have journal prompts on them. They are just like totally zen coloring pages because that is another thing that I do. I'm an artist. Because, you know, and it's not because I'm amazing, although I am, but it's because I have put all these things into practice to find my fun. And this is like what I do for fun. This is my music festival inspired one. So that's just an example. I have more. You're going to get them all. All right. The third thing is this gorgeousness. You know what this is? It's actually going to be, this is a huge one. You're going to get a printable size one, like 8.5 by 11. It is a step, like baby step or goal setting poster. So it's meant to look like river rocks. It's really pretty watercolor. Doesn't do it justice. It's like artiste. And here in everything here, you can put like steps that you're wanting to take to get to a goal. You can put goals, different goals that you have for the summer. It's really pretty, and then you can post it somewhere and look at it all the time, and it like looks pretty, and you want to do the things that you actually wrote on it. So you're gonna get that. You are gonna get a cheat sheet of 50 ways to keep your kids busy this summer without getting paint all over your living room or having to spend 5 days cleaning up after them. So that is an issue. Like I used to give my kids these things to do to give me time, and they involved, like seriously, the last time I did it was when my 6-year-old, now 6-year-old, well now they do stuff, but I remember he was 18 months old and I gave them paint, and then I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? I had to drag them like kicking and screaming to the bathtub when like they started like walking around the living room with paintbrushes. So I'm going to give you 50 other ways, really quick ways to keep your kids busy that don't involve TV and that don't involve paint up their noses. And finally, I am going to send you, this is like a little compilation of recipes of how to have fun. All right, ready for this one? I love what this one is called. How to have fun in your mouth this summer. Oh my God, I'm sorry. It's so funny. It's recipes. It's like quick and easy recipes because one thing I actually, I will post the link. When I post this on Facebook, I will post a link below it taking you to this other video. We did this video with my friend Rihanna, who has New School Kitchen, which is another membership group. And that kind of helps you eat, you know, kind of fuel and heal your body through food. Anyway, in that video, I talked about how I love to eat. Eating is fun. And so if you can have like simple ways to eat well, like that is fun for the summer or anytime. So anyway, you're going to get a little recipe PDF of how to have fun in your mouth this summer. If you don't have a printer, I will literally mail this stuff to you. So just let me know. All right, you have until 1:44 tomorrow to get those bonuses, but you have until doors close. I think I'm going to close the doors like on June 1st for the program. So you can register until then. You just would have to not get the bonuses. All right. Last but not least, I'm looking at the chat. You guys don't have questions. Write down any questions for me if you do. I am going to quickly tackle these questions. I have 10 minutes before I have to go. All right. So question number 1 was, how do I have a fun summer if I can't afford a vacation or a babysitter? So I also am not rolling in the dough yet, but that is something on my vision board that I've been working towards, and I am comfortable right now, but and we will take a vacation. But anyway, the steps that I have in my virtual summer camp can help you do that. And the steps that I gave you here can help you do that. So you don't need to get away from your kids to do these practices. You can do these all the time. This is something that it can become internalized in your body, and it's what you do throughout the day to find your joy all day long. So you don't have to have fun away from your kids. You can have fun with your kids if you can't afford to get rid of them. Can I have a dream summer if I work full time? Yes. Again, the same thing. You don't need a lot of time, and you don't need to do a lot of stuff to find the fun. It's about finding the fun in what you already have. And so this is a conversation that I have with a lot of people who hate their jobs. How can you find the fun in your job? And at some point, like when I was coaching people one-on-one, we worked on like, at what point do you look for a different job because your job is not fulfilling to you? And a lot of times through these mindset exercises, what we would find is that they would find their fun within their job, whether it was because they were connecting with a certain coworker or on a certain team, or there was a certain task that really made them feel powerful. And then they're like, oh, I actually don't hate my job as much as I think I do. So it's the same thing. You can have a dream summer if you work full time. It's more about the mindset shifts than it is about the doing more stuff. And when we talk about having a dream summer too, I want to be realistic, but I also want to dream. So I like, that's hard to say. Being realistic in that, like, if you can't leave your job, but your dream summer would involve 3 months in Thailand. Well, you're not going to get the 3 months in Thailand, not this summer. But it's interesting because if you put these practices into place, eventually you start to seek more fun out in your life. And if your job really is that unfulfilling, you will end up leaving it and you will go to Thailand. So, down the road when your kids are in college. All right. So the next question I had was, I literally don't get a break. How can my summer not suck? So it is really hard for you to feel like you can get space when you're a single mom, when you're so busy, when you're so chaotic. And I know, I used to own a physical business in town that I had to go to with my body and my car and my kids. It was crazy. And it's harder when you don't have childcare. Like, sometimes you are the only parent, you're the only person doing anything, and you don't have people to watch your kids. So how do you do this? Again, you can carve out 10 minutes. You can carve out 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes a day, what you do these steps that I told you about, but you do less, not more. So you don't add more shit into your schedule or more laundry or more to-dos or tell yourself you have more errands to run. You actually take those away and you do these practices in 10 minutes a day, and you will be fucking floored on how that changes your life. All right. Oh, this last one. This one was a little two more. All right. How can you have a dream summer with an infant? So it's funny because a lot of the time when my kids were growing older and getting less cute, I would tell myself oh, things will start getting easier once they're older. Once they can wipe their butts, once they're potty trained, once they're in school, whatever. And honestly, nothing got easier with my kids. Motherhood is still challenging. But my problems changed because once I realized that my kids weren't my problem, I was able to find the solutions to my problems and create space and do all that solution stuff. So, you can do all of this stuff, these 5 steps. You can do whatever age your kid is, and you honestly can do them even if you don't have a child. So, they're also like in my in the summer camp, because it's virtual, you can go online like and watch a video when you're nursing your baby. You will have like a specific thing you can go do every day when your baby's taking a nap, so that you don't sit there being like, what the hell do I do when my baby's taking a nap? And the last question was a little different. This is a little different one. I like this one. I had a dream summer last year. My kids are 7, 8, and 11. How can I not be disappointed this summer? Interesting. So if you already had an amazing summer last year, you have 3 kids, they're like in the in-between stage where they're still kind of needy, they're not at college yet. How do you have a dream summer? So first of all, that is amazing that you had a dream summer last year. Like, have you reveled in that feeling? Like, have you really sat with that feeling and been like, wow, what did that mean that I had a dream summer? That was amazing. Like, what did that feel like for you? I would say try to get back in those feelings, and also get really aware on like what made that summer a dream summer. So those would be 2 good things. And it doesn't mean you can't have a dream summer. So if you start taking these steps now, they'll be kind of linked to the feelings you had from last summer, and you'll only grow what you did last summer. And those feelings from last summer, they don't go away. Like, if you keep practicing this, it keeps growing. So whoop, whoop. You guys don't have any questions on the chat? I'm done now. Thank you so much for watching. You guys who watched and watched till the end, I love you. I'm so sorry about the snafu at the beginning, because that was so crazy. But I'm so glad you stuck around. I really hope that you learned this stuff. And I think that like the main question you have to ask yourself now is like, okay, I learned so much during this webinar. If you did, did I learn so much? I'm assuming you did. You did. I mean, I learned so much and I already knew it. I'm serious. I blew my mind. But if you already learned so much during the webinar, like what else can you learn throughout the summer? And how else can you take the stress level down and the chaos level down and create even more space for yourself throughout the summer if you join the virtual summer camp? So click on the orange link on this website below this. If you're watching this on Facebook, there is no orange link. You are out of luck. No, I will put a link when I post it. And honestly, I can't post it until I come back from picking my kids up from school. So I will post the link on Facebook at like 4. But if you're watching this on my website, just click on the orange link and join, and you're going to get those 5 bonuses. You're going to get the $67 whole program. And it's going to be really fun. I'm really, really excited, like really excited. All right, I got to go pick up my kids now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being amazing. You are enough. All right. Bye. Mwah.